Hello, everyone. I'm going to be talking about post-concussion syndrome, or PCS. PCS is a condition where symptoms from a concussion, like headaches, difficulty focusing, mood changes, continue for weeks or even months after the injury. People with post-concussion syndrome experience a variety of symptoms. Cognitively, they may have trouble with memory, attention, and processing information. Emotionally, they may experience depression, irritability, or anxiety. Behaviorally, they may feel fatigued or have slower reaction times. These symptoms can be explained by changes in the brain, which we will go over next. At the neuroautonomical level, concussions can affect specific brain structures. For example, the hippocampus is responsible for memory formation, so damage to this area can make it harder to form new memories. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for attention and decision making. When this area is affected, it can result in difficulty concentrating and making decisions. Research shows that these brain regions are particularly vulnerable after traumatic brain injury, which explains the cognitive symptoms of PCS. At the neurochemical level, concussions disrupt normal brain chemistry. After a concussion, there is an increase in glutamate, which can overstimulate neurons and lead to damage. There can also be changes in serotonin levels, which are linked to mood. This helps explain symptoms of depression and irritability. Dopamine levels can also be affected, which impacts focus and motivation. At the network level, systems, PCS affects how different parts of the brain communicate with each other. Brain regions are connected through networks such as the default mode network, or the DMN. The DMN is a group of brain regions primarily involving the medial prefrontal cortex, posterior cingulate cortex, and angular gyrus that are active when a person is at wakeful rest. It involves self-reflection, memory, and internal thought. After a concussion, these connections can become disrupted, making communication between brain areas less efficient. This leads to symptoms like slower thinking, difficulty focusing, and problems processing information. One important method used for studying PCS is diffusion tensor imaging, or DTI. DTI measures how water moves along white matter pathways in the brain, which helps researchers to understand how well different brain regions are connected. This is especially useful for PCS because many of the symptoms are caused by disrupted communication between brain areas rather than clear structural damage. As we learned in class about the different types of brain imaging, this type of damage doesn't show up on a standard CT or MRI scan. So DTI helps reveal changes in brain connectivity that might otherwise be missed and explains the biological basis of the symptoms people experience. In conclusion, post-concussion syndrome, or PCS, can be better understood by looking at the brain at multiple levels. Damage to specific brain structures, changes in neurotransmitters, and disrupted communication between brain regions all contribute to the cognitive, emotional, and behavioral symptoms of PCS. Overall, looking at all levels together helps explain how changes in the brain show up as real symptoms. Thank you so much for watching.